Hey you guys, it's me Jess, and I'm back again with another video. And what I wanted to thank you so much anyway. First of all, thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new, thank you for being here. So as you guys know, I have been doing keto for the past couple months. I've been doing keto for the real deal, 100%. I want to say since February of this year. And what I want to talk about in this video real quickly is a ketogenic diet sustainable, right? Is this something that you can really do for the long haul, or is it just a phase? And in my opinion, I do believe that keto is a definitely 100% sustainable diet. Now that I've been doing it for a couple months, and I see the results and I see how I feel, and I can experiment with my own body and see, well, what makes me feel good, what doesn't, see how my body responds to certain foods, and just see the difference in the way that I have been eating for like the past 11 years as to now. There's no way that I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. At first, when I told you I first started with the high protein and transitioned into keto, and I really looked at it more kind of like temporary. Let me do it for a while. Let me get the pounds off. But when you see the results and you see how good you feel, you see how good your digestion is, you see how much energy you have, you start to see those stubborn pounds that you've been trying to get off for years finally come off. You're not going to want to go back. There's just no way. And I told you guys I did a keto clean out of my cupboards, but there were still a few things I was hanging on to. Thinking, well, maybe I'm like oat bran. I had this organic oat bran. Maybe I'll make some banana oat bran muffins when I lose all the weight. That'll just be one little treat. But now I'm starting to realize, no, I don't need those. Why does something with high carb have to be a treat? So now I'm even more comfortable with really going through my closet and getting rid of all those things. Like seriously now. And there were a lot of things because I paid a lot of money. I had all these organic products, all these organic grains I wanted to hold on to, but now I'm ready to get rid of them and donate them because no, I just can't go back. Okay, if you guys know my history, I was like a vegetarian slash vegan for like 11 years, from 2013. Like I started like from December 2013 right up to November of 2024, and when I decided to go vegan slash vegetarian many years ago, it was after watching some different documentaries, and back then they were really pushing the plant-based agenda, and we didn't even realize that that was what they were doing. There were so many films coming out at the time on Netflix. I know Hunger for Change was the first one that I watched that really got me. There was something called Veganary or something, Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, and of course we know What's the Health came out much later on. So there were so many documentaries that were coming out at the time, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I personally was bothered at the fact of all the hormones that they would put in the meat. I was like, well, why is this meat so big, the chicken so big, whatever. And I just started doing my homework, and I really, well, after watching a lot of those documentaries, I really did believe that, oh, plant-based is the secret to you know to optimum health. I really did believe that, and just like a lot of other people, was ignorant. And because I had to lose some weight, I did have some extra weight on me, and I was starting to have a few, not major health issues, but weight was the biggest thing. Digestive issues. I automatically blame the meat. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a meat. It's a meat that's making me fat. It's a meat that's causing all these digestive issues. Let me go get on the plant-based diet. And guess what? Those um, those problems didn't really get that much better. But yeah, unfortunately, that's something a lot of people do when they're starting to have health issues or they're gaining a lot of weight. The first instinct is, oh, let me get rid of the meat. When that's what you want to keep, it's the carbs and the sugar that we need to get rid of. And to be honest with you, the plant based diet was okay at first. I did feel really good at first. My skin did clear up a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I did have bad skin before, and I will say my skin had cleared up tremendously on a plant based diet. But I think that's also because when people, most times if you're going to plant-based diet, you're kind of trying to do it the right way. A lot of times you're going to get rid of a lot of processed foods at first you are going to eliminate a lot of processed foods. You're going to probably cut back on fast food restaurants because your options are limited anyway. You're going to probably cook more at home. And I know for a fact that when I first went vegetarian, I was doing a lot of juicing, and at the time the variety of vegetarian and vegan food wasn't the way it is now. All these products weren't really out then. The products they did have out weren't really that great. So you really had no choice but to cook your own food most times. So I really was juicing a lot and cooking my own food. And mind you, you're looking at someone that prior to that was eating a lot of fast food prior to that. McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, the whole shebang. So I went from doing that to cooking my own food at home, doing more juicing, and just becoming more health cautious. So of course that was very beneficial to me, and it did help. I did lose some weight. My skin cleared up drastically, and I did start to feel better at first. But as time passed, and honestly, the only time of my plant-based journey that I lost tons of weight was when I was following Dr. Sabi. But even though I do love and respect Dr. Sabi, but at the same time, I don't think he had all the answers, and his food list is not now his food list is not sustainable, because I know a lot of people who were following Dr. Sabi the same time I was, that I was cool with, and none of them are still following his list. None of them. There were a lot of Facebook groups that I was a part of, Dr. Sabi Facebook groups, that were extremely active, that now like nobody's in there. There's hasn't been a new post in years, because a lot of them didn't stick to it. There were people I used to watch on YouTube that used to do, oh, I'm a doctor. They used to call themselves Sabians, and they only did recipes that were alkaline, Dr. Sabi approved, and a lot of them don't even make videos anymore because it's not a sustainable diet. But anyway, long story short, as veganism became more popular and there became more products, more processed foods, more fast food restaurants jumping on the bandwagon, I started to put on a tremendous amount of weight. I mean, when the Impossible Whopper came out at Burger King, it was pretty much a downward spiral from there. But yeah, I put on, like, I want to say 40 pounds over the years on a plant-based diet. It really is just a carb and sugar diet at the end of the day. Lots of carbs, a lot of sugar, a lot of processed food, a lot of chemicals. I mean, you cannot compare a Beyond Burger or Impossible Burger to a real beef burger that is just one ingredient. If you eat a beef burger, there's just one ingredient. It came from the cow, and that's the end of it. You know, you buy a Beyond Burger, you buy Impossible Burger, you don't. It's made in a lab. It's got so much chemicals, so much bullshit in it, and that's what you're ingesting. You get what I'm saying? So, you can't. You're not gonna make me believe at this point that a Beyond Burger and a Impossible Burger is healthier than a beef burger, or even a turkey burger. You know what I'm saying? But once veganism became popular and all these products were available, it pretty much went downhill. And in your mind, you start to feel like, oh, well, it's organic, it's vegan, so it's better. Not really. Vegan is not health. Doesn't necessarily mean healthy. You know, if you like Cheetos, you can get the chickpea. I think it's called the chickpeas, chickies. The chickies, the vegan version of Cheetos, okay? And don't get me wrong, they are delicious. It was a friend of mine who actually got me hooked on those. They are delicious. Are they probably are they a little bit healthier or better than regular Cheetos? Probably, because there's no artificial coloring or flavor and stuff like that. But it's still a snack. It's still a very high carb, calorie dense snack, and that's the issue. And I had a friend who was on the same journey with me, and she was putting on weight too. And she was always going to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and buying all these vegan, organic snacks and baked goods and stuff, and thought that she could just basically eat whatever she wanted because it was organic and it was vegan. But it doesn't mean that it's healthy. It doesn't mean that it's going to keep the weight off for you. And so, yeah, so that was one thing. On plant-based diet, I did put on a lot of weight. I also developed a lot of health issues. I became pre-diabetic. I became anemic. Well, I was already having issues with being anemic, but it just kind of got worse. And I started to lose teeth in the back. Okay, yeah, I have all my front teeth, but a lot of my teeth in the back here did have to get pulled. Teeth literally just started to crack. And that's not normal, not for somebody in their 30s, okay? I'm 43 now, but that's when it started. I started to lose teeth in my early 30s, which is crazy. It didn't take long. Like, I want to say literally within my first year of being, like, plant-based, I was starting to lose teeth, which was crazy. And it just kept going on and on. And I love to work out. Oh, another thing I forgot, horrible digestion. Too many digestive issues, always feeling gassy and bloated. And that's one thing, when you're plant based or you're vegan, vegetarian, you are like full of gas all the time. You know, it's just, that's just what it is. It's terrible. And you start to think that's normal. But always bloated, always gassy, um, poor digestion. Sometimes your digestion is good, sometimes it's not. I used to have to always detox, and I thought that was a good thing. I used to pride myself on constantly detoxing. And I used to also go to do hydrotherapy colonics a lot. That's how bad my digestion came, to the point where I was going to hydrotherapy colonic, and each session is like $63 to $73, and I was going there like almost every other month. And I'm like, that's not normal. I should not have to do this all the time. And overall, I love to work out, like I said. And no matter how much I worked out, I would try to eat in a calorie deficit. Yeah, I would lose weight and I would get results, but it wouldn't last. I would lose weight, feel good, and then next thing you know, I'm right back to where I was. And just the whole food preparation, I've noticed with eating plant based, even food prep. If you're trying to do meal prep, it's a lot. Like you're chopping up all these vegetables. You have to boil rice, quinoa, all these different food combinations. Because you're never really filled up, most people who are plant based, if you look at their pages, your plate consists of probably like 4 to 5 or even 6 different things. Okay. On occasion, I could have a plate of quinoa or brown rice with beans and plantain, broccoli, maybe a salad, some sliced avocados. Like, you're always having to have a plate full of just a bunch of different components. Where now I could just have a chicken leg quarter and a Caesar salad, or some broccoli, just 2 things, and I'm done. Or if that, sometimes not even. Sometimes I could just bake some wings in the air fryer and put that on my plate, and that's it. So keto cooking is so much more simpler. It's not really taking anything out of you. But those were some of the issues I was having with being plant based. And it can be an expensive diet, especially not so much if you're just doing whole foods, then you're fine. But once you start getting into all the processed foods and all the vegan processed foods that are in the market, it can get pretty pricey. So, but yeah, and I knew I wasn't getting enough protein. Like, I used to always log into my fitness pal, and no matter how hard I tried, I just was not hitting the protein count. The only way I could get up to the protein that I needed was by supplementing, by making smoothies and adding the organic protein powder, or eating protein bars, which I really don't want to have to do. And thank God I've discovered Dr. Ken Berry, because even he said, if your diet requires, I think him and Dr. Anthony Shafee said the same thing, if your diet is requiring a lot of supplementing, then it's not a good diet. And I love when Dr. Ken Berry does his lives where people can call in with questions, can write their questions in the chat, because I think there was a time or two that someone had asked about how he felt about protein bars and protein powder, and he said that he doesn't see a use for them. He's like, what is the point of you eating a protein bar or getting protein powder when you're eating meat? That's all the protein you need. And he's absolutely right. And one thing I talk about Dr. Ken Berry, he's not trying to sell anything at the end of the day. He doesn't have any supplements or anything. He's just giving you the straight information. But it's true. If I get up in the morning and I'm having eggs and bacon, I'm eating sausage, if I'm eating chicken leg quarters for lunch, with maybe some deviled eggs and, a salad or whatever vegetable of my choice. And let's say at dinner I'm having a pork steak or a ribeye steak or a beef burger. I got so much protein that day alone. So why do I need to go back and get protein powder in my drink, or a protein bar? And even he said protein bars are really carbohydrate bars, which they are. To me, they're just as bad as a candy bar. So, but yeah, guys, those are some of the issues that I was having. I pretty much named them all. those are pretty much the issues that I was having with a plant-based diet. And honestly, I just got sick of it, and I was saying to myself, like, I was watching all these girls doing what I eat in the videos, watching out their workout plans, watching people like Katie Dunlap and all these different people. I'm like, these people are so slim and on point, looking good, and they eat meat. And I'm like, I'm sitting here as a vegetarian, a vegan, I'm plant based, thinking I'm all special. And I'm like, you're overweight. And let's just be honest, a lot of people who are plant based are overweight. Let's just be honest. Like, a lot of people who are plant based or vegan, they talk so much shit, but a lot of them are overweight and don't even look that healthy. And you have people running around here that are on point, look good, nice body, and they're eating meat. I mean, look at Dr. Kim Berry and look at Dr. Anthony Shafee. They're both really good looking and they are very fit, look really good. Dr. Sean Baker is very fit. A lot of those carnivore doctors are very fit and look good compared to a lot of the plant-based doctors. I've seen a lot of overweight plant-based doctors are either overweight or look kind of skeletal. So it's like, who are you gonna go for, you know? But anyway, I had been craving meat. I knew eventually I wanted to try back eating meat again, but the crazy thing is my ex, who was a meat eater, kind of discouraged that because the whole time we were together for many years, and he never saw me eat meat, and he was just like, oh, it would be weird to see you eat meat. You just stick to your diet. You know, you're a very disciplined person. Da da da. But I wasn't benefiting from it anymore. So I mean, we broke up last year, and then I've been with somebody new ever since. But and he eats meat, and he never discouraged me or encouraged me to do anything. He's just like, hey, do what you want to do, whatever makes you happy. And so I knew that I wanted to get back to not only losing weight, I wanted to be fit, I wanted to be happy, and I wanted the weight to consistently stay off. And I kept looking at pictures of myself when I was younger, when I was eating meat, and I'm like, you were actually slimmer when you were eating meat. So I knew what, and I was watching a lot of Craig Dujet's high protein videos and Michelle Root Fitness on YouTube. Those are one of the two main people that I was watching on YouTube a lot. Like, I want to say around September and October of last year, I was watching them faithfully, and they do a lot of high protein videos. And they were talking about and there's this other lady, I forgot her name. There's this dietitian, this white lady who I really like to watch. I can't remember her name, but she's a dietitian, and I don't know why I can't remember her name, but she does a lot of high protein videos as well. So, and they all talked about the fact that the plant-based protein was not the same quality as animal protein. And I started to realize that, and I started to realize the benefits of protein. Well, like I said, it started off with the protein. How protein was very satiating and kept you full, and you weren't going to be snacking all the time. And see, and that's another thing too about plant-based I forgot to add. You are always hungry. It's like you're never satisfied. You can have a really huge plate of food, and within an hour, you're looking for something else to eat, and it's normally something sweet. And even when you go out to eat, you're going to end up loading on a lot of carbs. So, most vegans, vegetarians, you go to a restaurant, what are you going to get? You're going to get French fries. I've seen times where all I ordered was a French fries and a salad. You're going to go to a Chinese restaurant. I remember that Chinese restaurant will never see me again. There's nothing there for me. I mean, I remember I used to go there all the time, and I would have fried rice, tofu Szechuan style, and noodles and egg rolls, and I thought I was doing good. I'm like, oh, it's vegetable fried rice. It's tofu. Tofu is healthy. There's no telling how many calories I was eating when I was ordering that food. And their food is very high in sugar. It's just one big carb and sugar platter. So I haven't even had any Chinese food since I've been on this journey. Well, I mean, what am I gonna get? I haven't had order no Chinese food from last year. There's nothing there for me to eat. There's nothing keto friendly. I'm just not gonna do. I don't want to eat I wouldn't even eat their meat alone. Plus, they fry everything the same oil. Plus, that's another thing. I've gotten really strict. Like, I don't do seed oils or anything like that. But yeah, that's one of the things too about the plant-based diet. You are constantly hungry, and unfortunately, a lot of nutritionists push that whole idea of, oh yeah, eat every 2 to 3 hours to keep your metabolism going. You do not have to eat every 2 to 3 hours, guys. Since I've been keto, I eat about 2 meals a day. That is it, and I don't snack in between. And if I do have a snack, it's going to be something like fruit, like keto friendly fruits like maybe raspberries or maybe a few blueberries, maybe a few cherries, maybe maybe 3 or 4 cubes of watermelon. That's about it, but nothing um, nothing crazy. I don't even buy keto snacks. Have I tried to buy a few keto snacks? Yeah, but a lot of those keto snacks are expensive and they're very calorie dense, so I don't. Look, I had ordered some keto cookies one time and they weren't bad, but I wouldn't order them again. I do like to bake. Sometimes I do a little bit of keto baking, but I'm trying to hold off on it a little bit. I want to wait till I reach my goal and then I'm going to make a keto coconut cake. But yeah, but that is one thing on the plant-based diet. You're constantly snacking. Like, it just doesn't stop. It's like I used to go to work with a big lunch bag just full of snacks. I would have my breakfast, some oatmeal, a smoothie. I used to make banana bread every single Sunday. 2 slices of banana bread. Because in my mind, I thought, hey, I'm better off eating my organic banana bread that I made using coconut oil and coconut sugar, no eggs, no dairy, which I need the eggs and dairy now, right? I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, thinking, oh yeah, I'm better off having that than chips or something. And I could probably still end up eating that. But yeah, I mean, and I used to have like several different cut up fruits, maybe some cut up mango, cut up pineapple, cut up honeydew. I would buy a lot of fruit. And I would have some blue corn tortilla chips. I'm like, oh, blue corn tortilla chips, that's way better than eating Doritos or potato chips, which it is, but it's still carbs, it still can add up. So yeah, but that was one thing I noticed. I didn't feel like I was always 100% satisfied. I would come home from work and literally tear my kitchen up. I could eat a whole bag of pretzels and hummus. It was just really bad, and that was a big part of the reason why the weight not only stayed on but accumulated. And so after watching people like Greg Doucette and Michelle Root Fitness and that other dietitian, I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I need to get on a high protein diet. So and try to, maybe that will help me be more full. And I tried to do it at first as a pescatarian, and it worked a little bit at first. I was doing a lot of salmon, shrimp. I was doing cottage cheese and Greek yogurt, which to this day I still love cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. I bought some PB2 Fit powder and Orgain to put in my smoothies. So I was trying that at first, and it did work at first because I did notice that I was fuller longer. I was buying protein granola, what I thought was good at the time. And then as time progressed, I said, you know what? It's time to go back to meat, like meat, not just fish, but it's time for the whole kit and caboodle. So I was watching Tish Wonders, and if you guys know Tish Wonders, she is a former vegan or plant based. Because everybody wants to use that term. She used to be plant based, and she stopped being plant based years ago for a lot of the same reasons that I've already said. And I always wondered about her, and people gave her a lot of backlash for that. So, and she has a lot of great videos. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do this because I saw so many people and that actually helped me too. I saw a lot of people on YouTube doing why I'm no longer vegan and why I'm no longer plant based. So I said, you know what? Maybe I just need to I don't want to do this anymore. I'm getting tired of it. I was actually getting bored with the food, to be quite honest with you. Like lentil soup with carrots and mushrooms. I was just sick of it. I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I was definitely getting bored with the food, and I was still cooking meat for my son and my boyfriend, and I would just look at what they were eating. I mean, it came to a point where I was drooling over rotisserie chicken. So I was like, you know what? It's time. I want to go back to meat. Let's see what's going to happen. And for Thanksgiving, my mom had sent over some turkey for Jacob, because she don't eat meat. And that night I said, you know what? I'm going to have some of this turkey. And I did. And it was okay. I wasn't in love with it. And I think it's just because I'm not really a big turkey person anyway. But it was pretty good. So I ate that for a few days. That was the only meat I ate for a few days. And I felt fine. I didn't have any stomach issues. I didn't have no digestion issues. And that was one of the things I was afraid of. Like, a lot of people talk about the fact that, if you've been vegetarian for so long and you eat meat out of nowhere, you would get sick. But I actually felt okay. Then I said, you know what, I'm going to go buy my own meat. So I went to Walmart and I just bought some organic chicken breast. I saw a recipe that Tish Wonders had done where she did like organic chicken breast with like a Greek yogurt sauce or something like that, and some cucumbers and tomatoes. And I ate that and I really enjoyed it. I'm like, wow, this is delicious. So I was doing that. I started eating turkey bacon. I started eating turkey burgers. So I really was pretty much just sticking with chicken. I was in that mindset of lean meat. Mind you, we haven't gotten to the keto stage yet. This was my high protein phase that only lasted maybe 2 months, 2 or 3 months, if that, not even. Yeah, about 2 months that lasted. So at first I was just doing chicken breast and turkey bacon and turkey sausage and turkey burgers, and that's all. And of course I was still eating fish. I was like determined to not really do the red meat and pork, and I was going to stay there. And then Greg Doucette, who was one of the people I was watching a lot, he did a response video to Dr. Canberry. I don't think he likes Dr. Canberry too much, and he did a video response to him talking about why calories don't matter. And all that did was made me actually go start watching Dr. Canberry's videos. And I started watching his keto videos and his carnivore videos. And I was really listening to the information that he was talking about, how dangerous carbohydrates were, and how carbohydrates creates a lot of inflammation in the body. It keeps the weight on. It keeps us sick. It keeps cancer feeds off of sugar, and all carbs turn to sugar. And a lot of the things that he was saying was resonating with me and making sense to me. Just when I talk about the inflammation, like the horrible back pain, just like I say, always being in pain, like not even being able to stand for too long. The constant hunger, never being really satisfied. The bloating, the gas, like just how terrible I felt after eating. And that's the thing. I feel like in society they make you feel like it's normal to feel that way. It's normal to eat all the time. It's normal to not feel so good after you eat. It's normal to feel full and gassy and bloated. It's normal to want to go to sleep as soon as you eat. Though that is not normal. You shouldn't have the need to be eating every 2 seconds, and you shouldn't feel like crap after eating something that you're supposed to be enjoying. So I became intrigued with the whole keto diet. So I started watching all of his keto videos, all of them. And I remember a friend of mine's mom had went keto years ago, and she had lost a lot of weight. My ex's baby's mom went keto years ago, and she lost tons of weight and has kept it off all these years. So I said, you know what? Let me try keto. And you have to really do it for yourself. Because I was nervous at first, because I've heard all different things I've heard about keto flu. I've heard about, you could lose your hair. Just all this stuff. And so I was like, let me just try for myself. And I started back eating pork bacon, which I had not had in over 20 years. I started to eat beef, steak, and I was scared of red meat because I used to think that red meat would mess up your stomach and give you poor digestion. Everybody's body different. All I could do is talk for myself. I eat red meat at least once or twice a week, and I feel 100% fine. I don't feel no bloating, no gas, no discomfort. I feel fine. I just go regular. And I have regular movements. I go to the bathroom every day. So that's what I'm trying to say. You really have to think for yourself. People are so quick to want to blame meat for everything. If you're going to sit down there and say that steak makes you feel bad, it's messed up your digestion, are you looking at the other stuff that's on your plate? Are you looking at the biscuit, the mashed potatoes, the corn, all the other stuff that you were eating with the steak, that could have been a possibility of what was making you feel bad? Because if I just eat meat alone, I feel fine. It's when I eat processed food. Like, honestly, I'm about to cut out Magic Spoon cereal. Even though Magic Spoon cereal is a keto-friendly cereal, that I'm starting to pay attention that doesn't have me feeling too great afterwards. And it's expensive anyway, so no, I'm going to be cutting that out too. But guys, since I've been doing keto, like I said, it's such a delicious diet. It's very sustainable. You're able to eat a bunch of delicious food that you were trained to believe is not good for you, and it actually is. Okay, I'm eating eggs in the morning with cottage cheese, with Parmesan cheese. I'm eating pork bacon, and I eat as much of it as I like. At first, I would only eat 2 slices. Now I eat about 3 to 4 slices of pork bacon a day, and I'm fine. My doctor told me that my cholesterol was extremely low, and it was high at one point. It was very high at one point. Just into January, my cholesterol was very high. Now she's telling me my cholesterol is beautiful. But I'm eating eggs in the morning, bacon. I'm eating smoked sausage. I'm eating avocados, right? No toast, no bread. Don't miss it. Don't care about it. That's another thing too. Since I've been eating this way, I'm very satiated. I'm safe, not full to the point where I want to go to bed. Like Dr. Westman said, eat until you're comfortably full, which is what I do. And after that, that's it. And my life does not revolve around food. I don't wake up in the morning first thing thinking about food. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm thinking about is movement, like going to the park to go do my 5 mile walk that I told y'all that I'll be doing. That is it. Yeah, my life is not revolving around food anymore. Um, I don't think about food. Like I wake up in the morning. The only thing I might desire when I wake up in the morning is my coffee. I love my coffee. I love having my little Starbucks coffee with my zero sugar creamer. That is pretty much the first thing I normally want in the morning. But other than that, I normally don't eat my first meal. I do intermittent fasting. I don't eat my first meal until like maybe 1 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock. It just depends. Like I think today I didn't eat my first meal until like after th- like 3:45. Yeah, close to 4. That was my first meal. No, let me stop. I'm lying. I was working online this morning, and my son did make me some breakfast at around 11. He did. He made me some eggs. He didn't make me a lot of eggs though, which I would have preferred more eggs, but he don't know. But he made me some eggs, and he made me some turkey bacon and some raspberries and cherries. So that was my first meal. No snacks. Then I had one piece of barbecue chicken, 2 ribs, and some deviled eggs and a Caesar salad for lunch. And that was like around 4ish. And then tonight I made a personal keto pizza. And that was it. No snacks in between. I did have some Magic Spoon cereal tonight, but I'm gonna be laying off the Magic Spoon cereal. But that was it. And I think I had like 2 little cherries. I had 4 cherries before I came up here. But guys, this my digestion is so on point. The only time I feel a little bloated is if I'm eating cabbage, and that's another thing on keto. Because meat doesn't cause any inflammation and meat does not make you feel bloated, you're gonna be able to really pay attention to things that might give you some slight discomfort. So now, and honestly, I don't have any desire to really load up on foods that make me feel that way. So even though cabbage is a keto-friendly vegetable, I will be cutting back on cabbage just because I have been noticing that cabbage does make me feel really bloated. So, and I don't like that feeling. So I probably will be cutting cabbage. Um, I like broccoli. I think my body can tolerate broccoli a lot better than cabbage, but I'm going to be watching. But cabbage, I think, definitely needs to go at this point, unfortunately, because I do love it. I do like fried cabbage or bacon, but yeah, I've been paying attention to how it's making me feel, and I do feel that bloat. Like yesterday, I had some, and it was like instantly bloated right afterwards. So I'm just like, But other than that, this you're able to eat so many delicious foods, and you're not gonna snack in between. You're not gonna have any desire to snack at all, which that's a big deal for me because I mean, for all these years, I was used to constantly snacking, even if it was so-called healthy snacks. I thought, like, I've been tracking on MyFitnessPal for years, and I'm gonna tell you right now, when I was trying to be in a calorie deficit and not really succeeding, I used to honestly track my food, and snacks alone, we're talking about banana bread, tortilla chips, all these different fruits. Whatever I was eating for snacks could easily be 800 to 1,000 calories worth of snacks a day, of healthy snacks, right? Crazy. Now I don't eat any snacks at all. I don't eat any snacks. If I do snack, like I say, earlier I had like 4 cubes of watermelon. I had bought some watermelon from Publix, buy one get one free, and I think I had about 4 or 5 cubes left in the container, and I ate it. That for me was a snack. I had 4 cherries. I took 4 cherries out the container in the fridge right before I got here. That is about as far as it gets with a snack. I was almost gonna bake a keto coconut cake today, and I changed my mind. So you're not, like I say, my mental clarity is much better. Not feeling the depression. When I am going to eat, I'm actually excited about it and looking forward to what I'm going to prepare. I'm gonna be honest with you. Was I that excited about vegetarian? No. And the only time if I was excited about something I was eating, more than likely it probably wasn't the healthiest thing. Maybe if I was doing fried mushrooms or cauliflower wings, or Beyond Burgers. But that shit. And I'm making my own fries. But other than that, a lot of the basic stuff, I was eating a lot of boring, flavorless food just because I thought it was healthy. Eating boiled quinoa and chickpeas with no flavor, no salt, with a salad, and a homemade dressing. And it was boring. I wasn't even enjoying it. Just was eating it because I thought it was healthy. And that's one of the things I love about keto. You can really enjoy your food for real. Like just over the weekend, I was making wings. I was making beef and cheese quesadillas with the carb balance tortillas. I'm making oven baked barbecue chicken. I'm using huge sugar-free barbecue sauce, which is excellent. I can eat pork steaks. I can eat the pork was it pork butt roast, which is delicious. I can have ribeye steaks in the pan and be satisfied. I can eat my baked chicken all I want. And there's some vegetables I do like. I can have broccoli. I can have my Caesar salad. I love Caesar salad. There's so many delicious things I can eat. Even if I want a treat, keto ice cream is a bomb. Keto ice cream, low in carbs, zero sugar, and compared to Ben and Jerry's or somebody else's high Briars. And I don't eat keto ice cream every day. I mean, the last time I had some keto ice cream was maybe last week. But if I do, I normally get the ones that are like 80 calories per serving. So you can still have a few treats. But no, guys, it definitely is sustainable. There's so many delicious things you can make on keto. And even if there's things that you felt like you had to give up, there's a lot of great keto versions that are still easy. Like even pizza. I love keto pizza. I've been making the keto crust out of cauliflower and cottage cheese and eggs. But the next crust I want to make, because I was watching Cooking with Dave. He does a lot of keto cooking videos, and he did the cottage cheese cloud bread for the pizza crust, and he said it was actually better than the cauliflower crust he made. So I'm very curious to make. I think I'm gonna make it sometime this week. My own crust with the cottage cheese pizza crust, and see how that comes. If it's as easy as everybody says. But no, guys, yeah, this is very sustainable because, like I said, when you're on keto, your life is not going to revolve around food. You're not going to have to keep thinking about, oh, what am I going to eat next? You don't really have to plan too much. You don't really have to meal prep. I mean, as long as you have some defrosted chicken, defrosted meat, season it real quick, put it in the air fryer, you're done. And you could literally just eat that by itself. Keep some frozen vegetables, some keto-friendly frozen vegetables that you can quickly warm up in the microwave. That has really been a game changer for me. I do love broccoli, so I'll get the Green Giant broccoli steamers, put it in the microwave. I always have chicken seasoned and ready to go in the freezer. Take it out, put it in the air fryer. We got dinner. That's it. Easy peasy. Nothing. It doesn't have to be fancy. I gotta cut this. I gotta cut that. Do all the extra stuff. No. I was gonna make some curry chicken over the weekend. I changed my mind because it's too much prep, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just bake this chicken, throw it in the air fryer, and be done with it. I don't want to do anything extra. So, and guys, there's so much information on keto. You got so many great people on YouTube who've been doing keto, who will share ideas with you, share recipes with you. So it is. I will say it's a very sustainable diet. I'm planning on doing this forever. I have no intention of going back to a plant-based diet. I never will go to a plant-based diet. And I'm even, because I see how I feel. How can I go from being keto, feeling wonderful, stomach feeling good, seeing the weight come off, all the energy I have, I don't feel like sleeping after I eat, to go back to carbs, to go right back to where I was. No way. No way. And even though it's just talking about this now, it's just motivating me even more. So tomorrow I'll definitely be going to closet. All the little last minute things I was hanging on to, I'm going to get rid of it once and for all. That's it. That's it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna probably continue with this topic, adding more information. But yeah, you guys, if you have not already, please subscribe, comment, like. Let me know about your keto experience or your low carb experience. I did order some books in the mail that I wanted to read. I did buy Dr. Atkins' book on Diet Revolution. I did buy Dr. Eric Y. Westman's book and Dr. Finney. So, because I just want to have some more information, just be more educated on low carb. I mean, I've learned a lot so far, but I just love to read about things I'm interested in. So anyway, guys, that is it about my keto journey. Is that everything? No. I'll probably do another video and just discuss some more stuff, but that's all I have for now. And thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye, you guys.